All right. Hello, Idiots on Parade, the Too Ugly for TV podcast. We mock the news so you don't have to. That's how we roll. That is Jake Vevra, stand-up comedian in New York City. I am Nathan Timmel, stand-up comedian in Iowa City. And I didn't say hello, Jake.
How's it going?
All is well here. All right. Let's jump right in. I have a surprise for you at the end because I know you like surprises.
I hate surprises. Tell me now.
Oh,
It's okay. We can wait.
Okay, good. Let's start with one of our favorite subjects, Jake. We love this guy. Elon Musk is our hero. We worship at the altar of Elon. I have nothing for or against him. I really don't care. We make fun of him. Fidelity Fund again trims Elon Musk Twitter valuation. So, according to this investment giant, Fidelity believes the shares it holds of Twitter are worth 71.5% less than when Musk took over. That is fucking insane. I mean, can you imagine owning a stock and it plummets by 71%?
All right, here's like maybe it's because genetically speaking, I did swim out of the sack of a degenerate gambler, but it does make me kind of want to buy Twitter stocks now.
What didn't you back in the day? I don't remember what it was. You bought penny stocks after the collapse, and you made out okay on Fannie Mae and
yeah, I made like 10 times the money I fucking put in, man. I bought, and then I bought more when it dipped again, and then it went up not to what it was even close before the crash, but Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, they were gonna go under, but then the government subsidized them. So right when they said that, I'm like, okay, well, they're at like pennies now. So
yeah.
The government said it's gonna let them cheat at the game. They're not gonna win. They're not gonna get back to where they were, but they're also not going away, and they got to hit up more than 3 cents a fucking share or whatever they were at. And so I did that, and then it ended up going pretty good. And I think luckily this guy is, one of the, if not the richest guy on earth.
He's the richest right now. Although it's funny that he's still the richest. Every time I see an article, it's, Tesla down, Twitter down. And most of his wealth is tied up in stocks. So it's fascinating to watch.
Right. I don't think he's going to let this thing completely go away. Worst case scenario, he sells it and somebody else makes it go back up. And so I'm like, I might buy some right now.
I was going to say he might sell it and have someone else put it back up. That was when you said he's not going to let it go away. I don't know. This is the guy that on a stage told Bob Iger to fuck off when Disney pulled their advertising because allowing Nazis on Twitter was apparently more important than keeping advertisers happy. And then he turned it around and said, hey, if free speech dies, remember, it's the advertisers' fault. I mean, he was, I haven't heard from him lately, but he was on a tear for a while of twin middle fingers to the world. It seemed like he was willing to let it burn.
He was, yeah. And I would be freaked out if I was anybody that worked for that company for sure. I'm just talking about throwing a little bit in. Right. As opposed to, you know what I mean? It's kind of like a lottery ticket kind of situation.
Yeah. And plus, you're talking about buying now. Like, if you just invest a couple $1,000s to see what happens, great. But we're talking about a company that the shares are now 5.6 million. Okay, quick, do the math. What's that down from the 19.66? Okay, right here. They started with almost $20 million worth, and now they're worth 5.6. If you're talking those numbers, I would be concerned as well. I don't know how many, but like you said, I bet there are companies out there thinking what you're thinking. They're thinking we lost all this money, but there are a bunch of companies out there that are probably thinking, all right, buy now. And all it's going to do is go back up.
Buy low. Even, hey, man, the saying buy low, sell high. If you buy real fucking low and then you just sell kind of in the middle, that's moderate. Still, you know what I mean? Like that, you still just fucking doubled your money.
Yeah. So I don't know. I just thought that was stunning. Over 70% less value. And yet he is, I don't know. Musk is credited for being a really smart guy. I agree with you. I think he should have just stuck to rockets and cars. His jump into Twitter does not seem to have. Has it been a year yet?
It's been over a year, I think.
Over a year.
I think so.
Oh,
But
October 2022. Yeah, so it's been a year and a couple months that he's
yeah,
yeah. All
I
right.
mean, it's so crazy. Uh, I don't know how the fuck you can be so good at running electric cars and rocket companies and so bad at running a social media company. I would have thought the latter would have been way fucking easy. So if well, way easy compared to what he's been doing. If you would have told me, hey, this guy that runs a rocket ship company and an electric car company, he's taking over this
And
social
bought
media
those
company.
after running a PayPal, like a money transferring company, like
Yeah,
things that require nuance and skill.
right. I would have thought like, oh, this thing is going to go through the roof. It's going to be nuts. It's going to be what's it, to the moon, as he said on
Yes,
SNL once. But
I thought
yeah,
that was Ralph
I
Cramden. To the moon, Alice. To the moon.
no, he said it on SNL.
Yeah.
He was bombing with cryptocurrency at the time.
Oh, yeah.
It was a thing where he was trying to get some cryptocurrency price to go up, but ended up plummeting after that.
No, yeah,
And then
I
he
remember
bought
that.
Twitter for 44 billion and fucking cut the value of the stocks by three quarters. So it's crazy.
It isn't crazy. All right, Jake, I'm throwing this one to you because you live there, so I'm curious as to whether or not this interests you. New York Police Department faces backlash as it prepares to encrypt radio communications. I'm not sure why this isn't already a thing. The idea that they don't want criminals listening in, like, hey, we're going to go bust a house, crack den on, at this address. And, anybody that's got a police scanner can just listen in and go, hey, they're coming to your house. Or, the news sits and listens to police scanners. I get transparency. I'm also not sure we should just be broadcasting whatever the cops are doing, especially in certain situations where they need secrecy. I don't know.
Well, there's a way to it's encrypted so you can listen in if you're the cops. Therefore, theoretically, you could be able to record that to where yeah, you can't listen live, but it's sort of like a body cam situation. It's not like the body cams are being blasted live on the internet.
Yeah.
I mean, they have the footage and they end up releasing it later, whatever. Yeah, you obviously don't want people listening in. Again, I same as you. I was shocked it wasn't encrypted already.
Yeah, it says radio monitoring is one of the few ways we can get an unfiltered look at how the NYPD is policing. All right, yeah, but also if it's out there for everyone, that means good guys, bad guys. If it's encrypted and I don't know, say journalists get a code that they can, yeah, like you said, you can release it, like say 2 days later or the next day. Like, okay, on Monday, here's all the radio communications, and go nuts. But in real time, I'm just not sure it's necessary.
Yeah, it's a pretty wild thing. I mean, again, everybody who seems to be against this, I think would have been for it on January 6th. That's my guess.
Yeah.
It's like this is a great idea until someone you don't like is breaking the law.
Speaking of that, I did not send you this because I only heard about it. Did you hear Ashli Babbitt's family is suing the United States government?
No, but good luck with that. It's not going to work.
Well, what's funny is the article I read said Miss Babbitt was shot while trying to bust through a door with a mob, and it's like you see the video,
It's on
and
video.
yeah, I'm pretty sure I remember this correctly, but the cop or the officer is shouting, "Stop! Get back!" Whatever. It's not just like opening fire Kent State style on a crowd of people. It was they were pushing forward.
Well, right. And the door was barricaded. Even if you
Yeah,
didn't hear a cop saying stop, it's not like it's barricaded. You know what that means. I mean, it doesn't, no one's sitting there going, oh, someone left a bunch of shit in front of this door. Let me move it for them. Like
yeah.
no one's sitting there thinking that. They know what the deal is. They're busting into the place.
It's the second paragraph. I just googled it. The family they're filing a 30 million wrongful death lawsuit, and the second sentence is what Ashli Babbitt was shot and killed January 6, 2020, while she tried to climb through a broken door into the speaker's lobby outside the House chamber. She was actively trying to. It's like the, Ashley posted no threat to the safety of anyone. The lawsuit claims. Look, Bill Maher did a great speech about her, did not condemn her as a human being, talked about the anger and frustration she felt as a person. She went from an Obama voter to a Trump supporter. You know, Bill Maher broke it down. I do not want to condemn her. She made some really bad choices. She's not here anymore because of it, but it's also she put herself into that situation. This lawsuit's kind of bullshit.
And the cynical side of me is thinking they know they're not going to win it. I think it's a way to get
Attention.
attention and like GoFundMe's going. A bunch of
Oh,
right wingers are gonna, yeah, here's money to go fight the government for Ashley, and then you know what I mean. Like some of it goes to legal defenses, and some of it goes to a new pool in the back. That
kind
kind
of
of
like
thing.
how Trump treats his donations, where we're
Yeah,
gonna fight liberals and the election fraud, and oh, according to this, he just paid off a tax bill on a golf course. I mean,
I mean, look, she died from listening to that guy's lies. I think her family should benefit from doing the same scams that guy's currently doing. I mean,
I have no
it's
problem
only
with that.
fair.
That's a really good idea. If they want to just keep the money in the community because the only people that are going to donate are people that are, yeah, good, let them cash in. I mean, it's the family, which means, yeah, the husband, was she married? I think she was. It doesn't.
No,
They
she was in a
lost a
throuple.
daughter.
Remember,
What's that?
she was in a throuple.
Oh, was she? I thought that was
Yes.
Marley Taylor
If
Greene.
anything, I think that I think that the money should they win any in the lawsuit should go to the other two members of the throuple, not the parents. I really I believe in the throuple, and I think it could add a lot to society, and so I'm pro throuple, and I think that the couple left over from the throuple should thrive in the aftermath of
Yes.
this.
Why shouldn't they?
And
I
I'm not
agree
saying
with
the
that.
parents should get any money, but look, if the parents are the ones running it, of course they should get most of the money from this scam. But they should kick some money to the surviving couple from the throuple from the GoFundMe scam.
Everybody should get paid out, you know, because again,
Yes.
like you said, the money's not coming from anyone that would do something better with it. It's not like the people
No.
donating the money would give it to a food shelter or anything like that. So yeah, why not just go to
No, they
cigarettes
would
and
donate
scratchers?
money to Trump's campaign, which means it would go to much worse places than the parents of Ashli Babbitt or the couple left over from the throuple. So
Yes.
you give it to Ashli Babbitt's parents and the couple from the throuple because let's face it, the throuple couple, the two that's left now, they got expenses. They got to go. They got to run up bar tabs trying to find a third member for the throuple. Because it's like you can't just let that third leg go unmended. You know what I mean? You got to add another person to complete the throuple.
Jake, when this podcast is done, when we're done recording today, I need you to sit down and write your own Dr. Seuss, The Couple from the Thruple
The
book.
couple from the throuple.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
need you
It's
to
going to be
write.
a kid's book about Ashli Babbitt's about the morning that the couple from the throuple did when Ashli Babbitt was shot trying to cross the police barricade at the Capitol.
Yes, the couple with from the thruple. I think that would it's going to make a great. You read it to kids at nighttime. It's a bedtime story.
Dude, they do make right wing children's books now.
Oh,
Did I
I
tell you
know.
about
I've
that?
seen them advertised.
Dude, my mom showed them to me.
Oh,
My
I
mom,
didn't
when
know
I
that.
was back visiting, she was like, "Oh, this is how they're making a bunch of like drag story hours and this and that, like liberal stuff for the kid." I'm like, "Yeah," and she go, "Oh, this is one sort of from the other side," and she starts going through it, and she's talking about how it's about how I don't know, like a little cartoon lion can't turn into a cartoon fox or whatever the fuck. And I'm like, what is this? Well, the thing just because it says it's a fox, it's still a lion. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I don't say nothing. I didn't want to get into it. But then she shows me the other one. She's like, oh yeah, and this one, I'm just kind of flipping through these. She's like, oh, this is about cancel culture and everyone's mad at this little penguin for voicing his opinion, and now they're trying to cancel. I'm like, oh, really? Like you tried to cancel the lion that felt like a fox, huh? Isn't that cancel culture? Oh, it's cancel culture when they're doing it to people you don't like. But then when Dylan Mulvaney advertises a product that's 21 and over, now we got to cancel her. Don't give me that shit. It's about the kids because that beer is not for the kids. This is an anti-trans thing.
It's not even
Anyway,
just
yeah, yeah.
canceling
I
her.
just I love hearing those people bitch about cancel culture, and then never let Colin Kaepernick play football again because he fucking kneeled. It's
Yeah.
bullshit.
I want to go sideways. This is personal. I just want your thoughts on it. I thought was fascinating, and I haven't really wrapped my head around it yet. I posted a video online. It's a true story. My wife gave our 9-year-old son the birds and the bees talk, and during that talk, she talked about how he's going to look at girls differently and so on and so forth. And several, not a lot, but several commenters on my video said, well, don't just say girls, you should say girls or boys or people. And then it just started going nuts where people like, fuck you, groomer, like it got out of control. But I did see one person then respond and say, well, sometimes kids need to grow into their own. And I'm like, hold on 1 second. Every gay friend I've ever had, every gay person I've ever known and talked to have said, yeah, I knew when I was a kid. I knew when I was 3 4, I'm like, oh, I'm
Right.
different, I like
Yeah.
boys.
Yeah.
And so where is this new let him grow into it coming from? Because my kid, I I if he was gay, I'd be more than happy with it. There's nothing. I love my gay son, but we have known for a long time that our 9-year-old son is straight. He has expressed big time interest in girls. Like he is. So when I because I wasn't saying anything in the video. I'm just like, yeah, casually offhand. Oh, girls are going to make you. So this idea, like girls or boys, I'm like, okay, I get the inclusive language, girls or boys, whatever. I get that. But then the comment, let him grow into himself. That to me was like, whoa, we've shifted. We've gone somewhere different because my whole life I heard I knew when I was a kid. Not I decided when I was a teenager. I knew when I was a kid. So this new language I found very
Well,
curious.
yeah, you can't let wackos online define it, because don't get me wrong, there is a
Yeah.
small subgroup among the left that's just sort of like there's girls, there's boys, and then there's the special ones that we will anoint, and you know what I mean? And it's
Yeah.
like, okay, well, there's acceptance and then there's incentivization. I'm not saying that doesn't happen on some small level, but there's people freaked out like, well, assholes like that are gonna trick kids into thinking they're gay or trans or whatever. And
Yeah.
I'm like, to those people, my question to them is, how many guys in a dress would have to read you green eggs and ham before you sucked my fucking dick? You know what I mean? Because I don't think it's that easy. I don't think
Right.
if there, and let me tell you, if there's a number, when I ask you how many drag queen story hours would you have to sit through to become gay or trans or whatever, if you have a number, then you are part rainbow, my friend. I hate to break it to you. It's not woke culture. It's not Bud Light that did it. It's something in you. Sorry.
You just made me think of. You made me think of the old Jim Jeffries bit about gun control, and you remember where it's the article, the idea that he goes, well, if we just make guns illegal, then only criminals will have guns, and he goes,
Right.
um, have you seen some of the criminals, like the guy that thought he was the Joker in the Colorado movie shooting? You can't
Right.
just show up on the dock going, guns, I want guns. And it's the same thing.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you can't just show up with a kid the way you phrased it, like like, all right, you might be I might be like it's not a conversion like that. Yeah,
Right. And they're so freaked out that this is happening in schools, and that public school teachers are going to make the kids identify as trans. They're going to trick them. It's like, have you look? I hate to talk shit on teachers. A lot of public school teachers are not the most motivated. They like having 3 months off a year, and they're not. Look, a public school teachers in America now can barely get the kids to identify as literate. You think they're switching their fucking genders? It's not happening. It's just not happening. Even if there was a teacher that set out to where, like, I'm showing up with my purple crew cut and I'm gonna make as many trans kids, that teacher would be so bad at it that every single one of the boys would be listening to Rogan every day. Every single one of the girls would be I don't know, going to beauty pageants, doing whatever kind of shit. They'd be in the Daisy Dukes, you know. They'd fuck it all up. They would fuck it up. Public school teachers can't get your kids to switch their goddamn gender. It's not something that appeals to people that aren't trans. Like I was kind of saying before, I don't care how accepting you are of getting gender reassignment surgery. That doesn't appeal to me. Guess what? I live in a very liberal city. I work for a very liberal radio channel. If anything, would probably help me there if I came out as trans. I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't appeal to you unless you're already going that way.
I've been trying to come up with a joke for this, and I've been failing. But I listen to my kids when they think I'm not listening to them. Not just my two kids when they are playing together as friends. When my daughter has like four or five girls hanging out, or my son and his two buddy, like they mock their kids. Like we think that that the adults are going to be able to push their agenda on kids. When they're my daughter and her friends sit around like, hey, that's bullying behavior, you bully, shut up. Hey, my cat's pronouns are US and A. Like they make fun of everything they are being taught. They're being told all this acceptance and anti-bullying behavior. I once listened to all four of these girls. I'm not gonna, but just sit around going, "You're a bully. Shut up. You're a bully." I'm gonna tell the guidance counselor, "You're," but like they make fun of their kids. All kids do is make
Oh
fun of
yeah.
authority figures.
And I was, if anything, going the super progressive and hammering all this stuff over their head route. If any, it's going to push them the other way.
Yeah,
Because
yep.
here's the thing: like I said, I'm in New York. It's a very liberal place, except for Staten Island. When Trump was president, everybody here fucking hated him. But you know who was the loudest about it, the most obnoxious all the time? White women with conservative fathers. Oh, every fucking other word you said. What do I think about it? I think Trump is a Nazi, and anybody who supports him is a fascist. It's like I was asking if you'd seen the new Avengers movie. Jesus Christ, it's got
Yeah.
nothing to do with Trump. Oh, you're so brave. You disagree with the guy that everybody around you hates. Where do you get the courage? So like it's gonna go the other way. The kid that gets forced to eat salad at McDonald's because his mom is a vegan, he's gonna either grow up to be a super vegan or he's gonna go grow up to hunt cheetahs with Ted Nugent, and he's gonna fucking slaughter endangered species and send his mother little trophies from them, little ears and fucking pelts and things like that. So yeah, if you hammer them over the head, they're gonna go the other way. It's not.
And Jake, we've
You're
seen
not
this before.
corrupting these kids or whatever the fuck.
We've seen this before. As you were talking, I thought this. Uh, what is generally sort of considered one of the most repressive examples of a period in our history sort of is the 1950s. The dad and the mom with where is in the kitchen and what came of the 50s? The 60s. There's always
The
blowback,
60s.
there's always reversal, there's always
Right.
pushback.
And a lot of that hippie love shit. What was the blowback to that? The 80s, where it was
Yep.
like, I'm a punk rock guy and I'm gonna break your nose and just fucking break things. Like it
Yep.
was just that's just where how things go.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, Jake. The thing I love about the fact we only do this once a week is sometimes a news story hits and we're like, "Oh, that's curious," and then the story grows and builds. When this first happened, I was a little like, eh, I don't want to read the headline because the headline has changed since I sent it to you, but or maybe it was there was a bombing in Iran where the General Soleimani. They went to his cemetery or where his headstone is, and they were paying respects. And then bombs went off, and immediately it was, oh, what did Israel do? And I'm like, first of all, why is there a big to do at General Soleimani's? I can't think of anybody here that would be like, hey, we're gonna go celebrate Stormin Norman from the Iraq. Let's go, drink some beers and celebrate. So I don't know what they're doing at his gravesite, but of course it was ISIS. You gotta love it when they keep it in the family. Like the idea that Israel would go into Iran and bomb. I mean, they take out a leader of Hamas if he was hiding there. They just did it in Lebanon, but so it just made me laugh that 2 days
Yeah, I think
later was
Israel's got bigger fish to fry. A
right.
little closer to to Tel Aviv, I think.
Yes, but
They're busy.
I love it when ISIS keeps it in the house. Is like, sure we're both Muslim, but you're infidel Muslim, so we're gonna bomb this funeral, not funeral, but either way, this celebration of the just
Well, but so
funny
many of
that
those like the terrorist groups and stuff like that, they talk a lot about Allah and Islam and this and that. They're really more into just land and
yeah,
getting and acquiring
power.
land and resources and power. Yeah, it's not really like the Taliban when I was in Afghanistan were Muslim the same way that the Italian mafia is Catholic. Yeah, they may wear the jewelry and talk this and that, and oh, you're the Godfather, and use some of the terminology. Spreading the name of Christ is not what the mafia's main goal is, and spreading the word of Allah is not ISIS's main thing either. It's acquiring land. It's about if the infidels from the West are gone, they're gonna fucking take the land from whoever won't give it to them, and those people then become the apostates or the infidel Muslims, the bad kind, whatever.
Well, according
And
to this,
they'll do what they need to do.
according to this, it's the age old, age old. It's the two they were Sunni and they blew themselves up among Shiites, which the Islamic State groups as heretics. So yeah, it's the age old Sunni Shiite thing.
Yeah, yeah. But see, there's also, it's not everybody focuses just on the religious angle, and yeah, that's part of it. That may be how
That may be how
the
they
lines got
recruit.
drawn
That may
so
be how
long
they
ago.
like, hey, remember we're on team this.
But it's also like
overall,
Iran funds
and
Hezbollah. So and
Yeah.
Hezbollah was fighting with ISIS. So I mean, that's really kind of what it's about. It's about control of the region.
Yes, yes, yes. All right, Jake. I got bad news for you. I hope you're not too sad. Sean Hannity says he has relocated to Florida. Sean Hannity told listeners on his radio show on Tuesday that he's moved to Florida, citing New York's tax rates as a major reason for the move. So you don't have Sean Hannity anymore, Jake. I hope you're not sad. But the funny part is, the tax situation that he was complaining about was exacerbated by the 2017 tax law signed into legislation by President Donald Trump. So he was complaining about a tax situation in New York that his hero implemented.
Well, but it's more like state taxes and stuff like that.
But it is.
Look,
but what it says is that because of this new law, that they capped what you can write off on state income tax. So,
well, right, but it's just sort of a known thing that a lot of people who make a lot of money in New York will, when they're older, they'll go to Florida because Florida does not have an income tax or a property tax. It's they do mostly sales tax. So hence you hoard a bunch of money here, you sell all the stuff you have here, you go down to Florida and you live fairly cheap, man. It's just kind of the way people do it. He's just trying to make it a bigger thing. And look, I think from like a PR move, it's good for him and it's good for Fox, because I remember when my mom came in.
Tucker moved to Florida years ago. I'm stunned that he's still in New York. I had no idea.
Well, they need to stop broadcasting as much from New York if they're going to try to demonize it as much. Because the thing is I remember when my mom stayed with me about a year ago, she was all freaked out about like, oh, there's so much crime and there's I heard it's this hellscape. And it's like certain neighborhoods in New York are kind of shitty, but like for the most part, you don't really have to worry about it. And just a little thing like my wife would go to the store to get wine. We live in a super residential neighborhood. It's, a bunch of families and kids and stuff. Like there's no gangs or nothing like that here. And she's like, you're gonna let her go to the store alone at night? And it's like, will you stop? And I finally broke it down for like, look, you're getting this shit from Fox News. They talk about it like it's still the 70s here. It's not the case. Look, if it was really that dangerous in New York, all over the city, would they all be broadcasting live from here 7 days a week? No, they wouldn't. They wouldn't. They'd be in Jersey. They'd be in Florida. They would go someplace else. If it really is this Mad Max, this hell on earth situation that they're making it out to be, they would not be doing live radio shows from here. Even though they're millionaires, they would not have their families living here, even though they're millionaires and have the means to go elsewhere and broadcast from anywhere. They would not be doing it from the center of the fallen city, of the war zone, of the apocalypse. They wouldn't be doing it, So if you're going to keep pitching that narrative for years and years and years, people are going to see through it if you're going downtown every fucking day or midtown to do the show, because they broadcast right across the street from where I work, and it's ridiculous. Now, look, crime did get worse during COVID. That is true. Like the subways got fucking
and they've
crazy
also said the
COVID.
crime's dropping across the nation too, especially in New York. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it did get worse during COVID. You didn't have as much police presence and stuff like that. There wasn't, you didn't have the ability to jail as many people, like you had to distance and things like that. And so, and the cops didn't want to come in contact with as many people. You were trying to social distancing. There was less people on the trains. So the homeless people kind of fucking took it over. Like, again, wasn't like Mad Max, but you would see a lot of like aggressive homeless dudes on the train during COVID. Now to the right's credit, that did happen, and the left fucking lied about it. The left was like, no, it's not happening at all. It's not at all. That's a racist dog whistle. You're racist if you think crime is worse, Like that, that's true. That did happen. That said, A, it wasn't as bad as the right said it was even at the time. B, it's gone back to basically what it was before COVID, in terms of the trains and just the amount of people you see fucking like aggressively screaming at people. Yeah, you'll see it every now and then, but it's, for the most part, it's gotten back to where it was before COVID. That's the honest truth of it. It's not what the fucking left is saying. It's not what the fucking right is saying. It got worse during COVID, and then it got better.
Well,
and
they
if
both
New York
have
was
to
really
play to their
fucking bad, they
base.
wouldn't be doing live shows from here every day. What's
Yeah,
up?
they both have to play to their base, though. They both
Yeah.
the right has to say it's the worst, and the left has to
Exactly.
say nothing's wrong.
The right has to go, well, there's it's complete hell on earth, and the left has to go, there's no such thing as crime. That's a bigoted thing to say, that crime is real.
My one of my best friend happens to be African American, and it's funny the way you just said reminded me of something you said once. We were talking about a joke of mine that I got in trouble for, and he said, "Look, if you say, well, I want to make a joke about poor people,' and the other person says you can't talk about black people like that,' it's like, I didn't say black people. Where's your bias at? You racist.
Right.
It's funny where the racism actually is sometimes."
Oh, yeah, and I mean, they have a point in that there is a lot of just sort of drumming up unnecessary fear about crime, and they do try to tend to, the way they frame it, the way they push it, tends to really be geared toward, let's scare Whitey into thinking that MS-13 is going to come kidnap his family tomorrow. There is a I mean, there's plenty of that. But what I'm saying is that it's also like you do have cities, not as much New York, but I know Los Angeles flat out announced that they weren't going to prosecute theft under $1,000.
Yeah.
And so it's like, all right, guys, what are we doing here? What do we,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And so it's like they are doing things to make petty crime a lot more prevalent in very, very blue cities. And that's not just a racist dog whistle, as the left claims. That's just
we see videos of it. People
policy.
walk into store, black, white, whatever, fill a shopping bag, walk out.
And look, we've said it before. I don't think you should dedicate a whole lot of time and resources to prosecuting shoplifters. I don't think the penalty should be that bad. But when you flat out announce it, when you flat out announce we're not going to prosecute a theft under $1,000, you just legalized theft of up to $999, and so people are just going to fucking act like it's that show Supermarket Sweep.
And then you see videos of you go into Walgreens and it's like everything is locked up. You see those ones where it's like everything is behind and you need a clerk.
They have them here in certain places.
Yeah.
It's a fucking pain in the ass. It makes you not want to buy anything there because you're like,
go somewhere
I'm going to
else.
go in there. They're already understaffed. I'm going to have to wait forever to fucking unlock this thing and get it. And then I'm going to have to wait forever in line because, half the staff is walking around the store unlocking deodorant. Like it's bullshit.
All right. Final thing. Here's the surprise I had for you. Last week we talked about a couple comments we got on videos, and one was about Banana Republic. We said, I don't know if he's mad because he's a Trumper or because we shit on Biden. Well, we got more comments, and he's a Trumper. And I'm going to read the last part of this comment first. There are 3 comments, and the last one is, P.S. Why are you hiding comments? I'm not. I'm looking at it right now on the YouTube. I am not hiding comments. It's right there. Anybody wants to go to last week's episode on YouTube, the comments there. I'm not hiding any. But
do you think maybe he made some crazy comments where he was like, the weather's getting worse because of the you-know-whos, and like YouTube just fucking slashed off.
I was going to say,
he said.
It took me a while to figure out that
it's their goddamn space lasers.
YouTube has a filter.
Something crazy
and I
like
have
that.
Found comments that I've had to go in and approve. But yeah, I forget that YouTube has filters. But yeah, let me just read this one. This is the phrase "Banana Republic" has evolved since blah 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 blah. Key characteristics of a banana republic include widespread government corruption. Biden's as corrupt as they come. All right, but statements without facts or follow up. Widespread government corruption. Biden's as corrupt as they come. tyrannical government. The ABC agencies have been weaponized. Civil unrest, that speaks for itself. Well, the civil unrest is the idiots from January. So it's a coup attempts again speaks for itself, starting with the Russia collusion hoax. Okay, but that's not a coup attempt. The coup attempt was January 6th. So it's fun and cute. We weren't sure where he was coming from, but yeah, there's a whole lot of really bad
besides,
talking points.
if the DOJ, sir, had been weaponized like a banana republic over the Russian collusion hoax, wouldn't that guy have been thrown in jail for the Russian collusion hoax? Like if it was really like, oh, the whole deep state did it, how come nothing happened because of it? Nothing happened to the guy. Now there was people that worked for him that went to prison because of it. It's not like that when they say, oh, it was a Russian collusion hoax. No. They found wrongdoings by people in his team. I said the whole time that the left was overblowing the Russian thing, and they weren't going to find him and Putin in a hotel room drinking vodka and planning the future for the United States like they seem to be claiming. What they should be doing is trying harder to get in his taxes. That is where you are going to find that man compromised and have things that make him basically unfit to run the country because of shady business dealings and things like this with foreign entities.
No, exactly. I was just trying to look something up that he mentioned, but I can't find it. I should have looked it up sooner, but yeah, I mean, it's if you want to, since Biden was installed into the White House, not only the oh, okay, it's a two sentences that Britain. Since Biden was installed into the White House, not only the U.S. is going down the toilet, period. It's taking the entire world with it, period. Trump 2024. I love the magic thinking. I read an article or I saw a news report where they did this magic interview with people on January of 2017. And it was like Trump was 3 days into his presidency. Like, how do you feel about the economy? Oh, it's gotten so much better. It's like these people think a switch is flipped, even though the U.S. is going down the toilet, except for the economy, the Biden. And again, I hate singing his praises.
The economic numbers have been fucking going great recently.
I was just going to say, they managed to avoid the recession. If you remember, you go to like Jim Jones on Twitter 2 years ago, he was tweeting recession every day. And guess what? We avoided it. The unemployment numbers are so low that they can't find workers. Productivity's, everything's up across the board, but not on Newsmax, not on OAN.
Those assholes blamed Biden 100% for the price of eggs when they went up, gave him no credit when they went back to normal price, even though it was a supply issue.
It's the gas price pumps where it's I did this when it's at $4, and now that's at here $2.65. There's no, you put those Biden stickers on again. I did this. Couldn't have anything to do with, I don't know. Oil is back down to, I can't remember. I heard it the other day, but yeah, it goes up, it goes down.
Gas, especially, that's run by like OPEC and shit. That's an international OPEC conglomerate.
Cuts production,
like the president
oil
is solely in charge of the gas prices.
All right, we're out of time. Minute 6 on the timer. Jake, good to see your face. Find Jake Vevra, not at Jake Vevra, at the @ Jake Vevra on all the social media. What's the name of the Love Gurus podcast now?
Twisted Cupid. Twisted Cupid now.
Every Thursday live. I can be found at nathantimmel.com. And because I'm equal opportunity, I have a shirt store on there, and I have a shirt that says, I'm with stupid, vote Biden, and the arrow's pointing up, and I'm with stupid, vote Trump, and the hand is pointing up, because it's all nonsense. So get out of your own passionate cult. All right. Talk to you later, everyone.
Joe Biden's inflation turned my son trans.